Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. We are back with another pick a card reading. Today we're getting into a realization update. Definitely an important topic for me on the channel, which is why we cover it a lot. So through the frequency of realization, it is the internal process of you becoming aware of something as a fact, and the external process of it being reflected externally. Okay, so let's get into it. Group 1, you are the star. So, excuse my nails. We're getting today it's a hair wash, manicure, pedicure day. And group 2, you are citrine. Group 3, you are this flower. Is this what kind of flower is that? That's not a sunflower. Is it a sunflower? No, this is like a daisy flower. I don't know. But that flower with the smiley face on it. It reminds me of Nirvana. But let's get into your groups, and I'll see you guys in your selection. Bye. Hi, group 1. Welcome to your selection. So you chose the star, and let's get into your selection. What are people realizing about your group 1? So what are people realizing about your group 1? People realizing about you? Rejection and maturing. Okay. So you guys, people could be realizing that you're very mature around a rejection, or a rejection made you mature. Something that happened with a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. This could be somebody that's very old, like this much older than you. And a lot of you guys, people are realizing that there was why you were rejected or something like that. They said that they're figuring out why you were rejected in a situation. They're saying that it's not because it wasn't true love, but it was because somebody said you needed to mature. Okay, especially if you were with a way older man. Okay, I'm hearing an age difference is greater than 30 years. Okay, like somebody that's really, really older than you. Okay, and they said that you were very mad about getting rejected. Well, you were simply just too young and too triggered. Like you and this person you were too young and they were too triggered, or you were too triggered. And I think that you definitely did work together on something, but I think that it was ultimately a no. Okay. Yeah, this person was just a man or something like that. We have the Mountain. Yeah, I think that, yeah, this person, they're saying that there's a rejection from a man that is losing, degrading, dissipating. They're saying that this man, it was a superficial relationship anyway. They're saying that this person served as they said that this person served as like a major obstacle or challenge. But it was something where you started to get enlightened around their way. You started to get enlightened around their ways, and it was literally people are realizing that you are having a disillusionment about a man, where you may have thought it was deep and tenacious until something else came along, and then you realized that this relationship, there was a big obstacle in the way of the relationship, or they were having a conventional issue, like something where it ended up being that they were really blocked by a lot of superficial projections and a lot of superficial emotions that you just cannot relate to. So they're saying that like you rejected a man, okay, or this man rejected you, or that you could just take it as a rejection because they were blocked by something superficial that you couldn't even relate to. So I think that they're shallow waters, despite their effort, it just ultimately, their shallow efforts fell short in a way. Okay. okay? And they're saying that this means that they are, like, they're saying that you're not the one that's degrading, you're not the one taking the ill. Is that, like, because they had this major obstacle that you saw as absurd, or you saw as superficial, you saw it as, you know, especially if they were struggling to, like, do the right thing or something like that. I think that you just saw it as a rejection, okay, and just summed it up as it was a superficial encounter, someone with shallow, superficial emotional displays that fall short, okay. They're realizing someone's superficial displays that fall short, okay, a man, where it's honestly them getting rejected. LOL. They're saying that that you rejected this man for being superficial, okay. What are people realizing about your group one? Okay, we have the femme fatale, we have the gambler, and then we have the companion, okay. This person, I think that you're definitely, you definitely could have a companion here, but I think that this companion, but you acquired this companion after your inappropriate use of sensuality or attachment issues failed with this man. They see that you were lucky to get, you were rejected, and then that was like a femme fatale, okay, because you started to, like, this rejection showed you that the companion was not loyal, deep, and tenacious, and that they were very superficial, and that they could not be appropriate if they had this big challenge, okay. They're saying that they could not have been like an appropriate companion if they had this big challenge, and people are literally saying that this man just wanted wealth. They say that you and this man could have wealth together, is what I'm hearing, but they're saying that it's literally just for wealth, or that that you were lucky to find this companion for wealth, honestly. But I think that ultimately, like, they saw you follow your intuition and somehow discern that this was a superficial or shallow water, borrowed water, and that they had a really big challenge with their, like, in, like, exploring options that were superficial. And I think that if you felt like people are realizing that, like, you're saying it, like, that it was really a rejection, that it's like there's no exploring options, there's no, it's just, that just means that you're not deep and tenacious or something like that, okay. We have Archangel Michael, we have Reflect and Integrate, and then we have Tarot Reader, okay. So this person could be a CEO, this man could be a CEO, or this man could be someone that you previously worked with. I also feel like this man could be someone that you've known since you were a child, and they could have been married, or they could have, this could have been the mother of their child. This could be someone that's older than you, okay. And this person, because you were a child, they had a really, really big limiting belief about especially if you were a child, they could have had a really, really big limiting belief around what was possible for your relationship, and if it was possible. So, they took a lot of, I think that they took a lot of time to explore a woman that was a superficial and shallow projection of you. But I think that people were saying that, like, this may have been a rejection, but you had exceptional strength and courage, and you just also, I'm also hearing that you are their leader. So it's kind of like the tables turned in the situation. And you've been getting protected by those who love God. Whereas this person, if they were out having a really, really big challenge of, with a superficial, shallow projection of borrowed water, then they were not a loyal, deep, and tenacious partner, and they were inappropriate sensuality, they were inappropriate attachment to money and power, they were not real protection, and they're saying that this person did not love God. If they were having the temptations, if they were having like the temptations with shallow people, okay, if they were something where they were not safe in a dangerous situation, they had a trouble doing what was right, and they're saying that this man, they lost support, or they're starting to reject this man, because they realized that this person did not have the courage to overcome fears, or they couldn't resist temptation. They said that this person was not faith, courage, strength, or power, that they were a rejection and that they're declining, okay? And there's, like, I think, like, if you're a tarot reader, then they're definitely discerning this man in their shallow projections through the tarot reading, possibly on this channel or through your own collective, okay? So I think that you were very strong and courageous in facing this man, but I think that you ultimately just learned that it was not something that you should invest in, or it was just something that you needed to mature from a shallow relationship with the heart chakra. I think that they definitely supported your heart chakra awakening. I think that they definitely unblocked your heart chakra, but I think that was just a key important information and unlocking of information. You getting communication and running it through your heart center truth, and not actually deep and tenacious, just a communication that helped you ultimately fight good, prevail over evil, because I think that we definitely just saw this man as evil because they were aware that you were in a dangerous situation, and they were not, like, they did not love God, or they were not real protection. If they knew that it was a dangerous situation, but still getting blocked by some superficial or shallow opportune that fell short by quite the distance. So they're saying that because this person fell short, they were not protection, or that they were inappropriate in a way. They're saying that this has inevitably declined, or that it has you inevitably prevailed over them. It's like inevitable that you will prevail over the matter, but you have to show exceptional strength and courage, is what I'm hearing. Okay, yeah, the devil. They're saying that you had that this man is a shadow attachment, that they don't love you, that they're not real protection if they are not staying safe in a dangerous situation, okay? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no deliberating. There's no negotiating. There's no debate. There's no more conversations about it. Honestly, I think that you just are reflecting about their shallow projection and getting protected by those who love God, so that it's inevitable it's like inevitable. Like friend, people are literally realizing that there's nothing that this shadow attachment can do to hurt you. Because some of them, they have an attachment to money and power. Some of them have been sending you threats, or they have really been superficial, or they've had a big obstacle. Where this just means that if they cannot overcome the obstacle, that means that they're not loyal, deep, and tenacious. Okay, that means that they're a shadow attachment. Well, some of you, this is somebody this is a man. If you're a man, then this could be another man that you are at court with. And some of you, people are realizing this person's name that starts with the letter S. They're realizing that you've had an ally or a companion at court that's been helping you fight good to prevail over evil. And ever since you came into, maybe they're saying that ever since you got this tarot reader or something like that, that you've been discerning this man who you've been at court with, and their inappropriate use of their sensuality and attachment to money and power. And this is what's helping you win at court. Or you're starting to realize this shallow, snarky opportunist, this man that was previously, where they're evil, were they feel like this person was an evil, this man, and they said that you got the protection of a tarot reader. LOL. They said you got a protection of a tarot reading or a spiritualist to understand what the psyche of this man. Some of you guys, this is the same gender relationship, or you could have previously worked with this person, but I think that they ended up doing something. They ended up fighting. Okay, there ended up being a fight because they ended up being evil. Okay, LOL. This is somebody that you were a man, that you were a companion with. This is a work-related partner, professional or personal. Some of you guys, if you did have a professional relationship with this person and there were same-gender romantic feelings, I think that this also added another layer of complexity to your working relationship, or could have inspired this power struggle in this court, in this legal matter. Okay, if you did have romantic relationships with the same gender relationship, this person, nobody could be knowing about this shadow attachment, okay, of romantic feelings. They definitely think your heart was involved in the matter, but I think that the relationship, they're saying that the relationship broke down because this person was inappropriate. Inappropriate sensuality or inappropriate attachment to money and power, and they see that you fought good to prevail over evil with a tarot reader or something like that. That was your deep and tenacious relationship that helped they helped you win this superficial battle with this. Like, it's like this person was like, this superficial man was a big they were a big challenge or obstacle at court, or a big rejection that you struggled to integrate. Okay, with the Six of Pentacles, yeah, this person, this is their ex. Okay, something where this person has an unbalanced, they're definitely very dedicated to achieving, but they're heartbroken because they have an ex that is they have an ex that was, the superficial, that poses as a challenge, or another companion that posed as a challenge, but they were superficial, not deep and tenacious. And so this tarot reading or whatever protection that you've received have allowed you to integrate a fundamental truth about this ex or this partner. This ex could be a man. This ex could be a person that you thought was deep and tenacious, but it was really inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. Or this person could be or something like that. Okay, one of those. But I think that there is, the obstacle is an unbalanced thought about a rejection from a companion that they thought was deep, loyal, and tenacious. This could be someone that they were working with, like a man at court, okay, where they thought this person was loyal, deep, and tenacious, but they they ultimately were rejected by this man when it became a power struggle or fight where they started to fight for money and power. Okay. And I also feel like, or it could be this ex that they thought was deep and tenacious, but it was really a rejection, and a false person that is degrading. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing about. I think that this is like a wish fulfillment in this pile for you, but this, you could have if you're resonating with the storyline of having a companion, you're definitely the one. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that, but I think that there could be a big challenge in your relationship where they've needed protection, and so they haven't been able to show up fully to protect you because they've also needed your protection or needed protection because they've also been fighting a battle of good to prevail over evil, either from a man that they work with, a man that they have same gender romantic relationships with, or an ex-partner where they have children with, or ex-partner that was a rejection that they still have not, where they were superficial with shallow waters that fell short, but they still have not been able to integrate fundamental truths about how this was an inappropriate use of their sensuality or an attachment to money, power, or an addiction to a role as a parent or something like that. Okay, I definitely think that this person had their heart chakra unblocked by this person, but they have not been totally integrated about this person because they could be pretending to be good, but they were really an evil that is degrading. Okay, and that this was a big conflict and hardship because they were. This is actually, it could take courage to stand up to this big obstacle, that actually is very daunting because it represents facing a truth about it being false or evil. Okay, y'all, but they're saying that this is heartbreaking. Okay, but they needed to hear the truth. This is what I'm hearing. People are saying that they needed to hear the truth, and that they needed to mature from a rejection, or you needed to mature from a rejection, and that you inevitably win, friend. It's not like if they were a rejection, they literally don't matter, right? LOL. Let's get an advice card from the bird. Okay. Yeah, the shadow attachment it was like because they were obsessed with you. Okay. So it was not like, I don't know, something where they were duplicitous. Maybe they were experiencing opposite feelings at once. Okay, some of them, they tried to act like they were protection, but because they were not safe in a dangerous situation, you discerned that it was inappropriate or unbalanced. Okay, so we have the ostrich. Okay, the ostrich spirit. Okay, friends, so let's get it from the book, the ostrich. Yeah, I think that what people are realizing is that, like, something that you did to totally deflect a negative vibe, okay? Because you are an authority in a situation. So if you had a man that is a shadow attachment, some of them are a shadow attachment to you because you're a tarot reader. If this is, if you are at court with this man, they're definitely aware of your tarot reader, okay? And this person that is an authority or staying grounded, carrying a heavy load, and also offering protection, okay? Doing the highest good, contributing to your highest good. But there's been I think you definitely should ramp up your self-care, take care of yourself very well, because there's a heavy workload here, because you are the authority in a situation, especially if you're having to navigate a man that it actually ended up as a rejection. They feel rejected by you because you're the authority. But I think that just deflect their negative vibes because they're degrading. Okay, if you worked with this man, you're definitely their authority, or if you're at court with this man, you're definitely their authority, and you definitely they were just a big obstacle, like this man at court oh my gosh, once you got this tarot reading about them and you were able to see that they were an evil, you have been getting the courage and you've been getting the information that you've needed to fight this battle for good to prevail over evil. You just need to stay grounded, stay speedy, carry a heavy workload, and always take time to recharge your spirit, because you're really deflecting a really big negative vibe from a man that rejected you. Even if this is the same. So I think that, they're saying they're like really realizing that there was a saving grace in this situation from a shadow attachment where you were unbalanced about how they were duplicitous, how they were manipulating you with duplicity. This could be a man that you work with, a same-gender romantic relationship, or a romantic partner in general that have, where you have been needing protection because you haven't been truly seeing that it was an inappropriate use of sensuality or an inappropriate attachment to sex, money, and power, okay? And that you just need to, that this is all, that maybe you weren't seeing things clearly before, but you had to follow your intuition and be guided through this situation. And some of you guys did turn up into a deep and tenacious partner that have been protection and helping you fight, fight for good to prevail over evil. But the shallow, superficial relationships with this man, they're degrading now. And that was like the table turning, and that was the good prevailing when you got the tarot reading, or when you got a partner that is a strong, like when you got a partner, or when you show an exceptional strength and courage as an authority. They're saying that you're a powerful authority in this situation, for good to prevail. I love that so much, group 1. Let me know how that resonates, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hi, group 2. Welcome to your selection. So you chose Citrine. That was available on Cosmic Intelligence. Please shop Cosmic Intelligence. We literally have like 3 Citrines, okay? But let's get into what people are realizing about your group 2. Group 1 was kind of hard, but I think we really got it towards the end, okay? What are people realizing about your group 2? We have expectation, okay? We have hope. And then we have house. I think that what people are realizing about you is it's like something where there was a toxic expectation, okay? Maybe you had expectations too, but you there's a lot of hope, okay? But there's something going down within your house. There's something negative that could be happening around your house, okay? Some of y'all, I think that, people are realizing that you were not expecting people to behave this way about your house. Like, oh my gosh. Some of you guys, if they saw that you were in an interracial relationship, they really acted. They showed their ass, okay? If they saw that you guys were in an interracial relationship, they showed their ass, okay? Because they saw this house, it just was not, people did not like it when they saw your house. This feels like this could have happened 2 or 5 years ago, where you're realizing you were not expecting this, okay? And so people could be realizing this about you, or they could be realizing that this was all about your house, okay? Your house was a siren, and there were a lot of people who projected onto your home. When they saw that your home possibly your spouse was interracial, when they saw that your home was, you were young with a nice home, they saw that you were advanced. Some of them, these were people who were age discriminating as well. So your house as a like being an authority, being a rewarded and recognized house for exceptional talents, skills, and gifts. A lot of people projected onto you because of that. And people who were less fortunate than you, they were green with envy, okay, when they saw your house. So I think that this is the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter is not about children. The heart of the matter is that someone was deeply deceptive and envious about your home, okay? And this something where they saw you doing yoga in your home or something like that. They were envious of your yoga in your home, or they were envious of your wellness practice within your home. Something, maybe they saw you doing a lot of DIY projects, like making your own bath soap, bath bombs, making, handmade butters and creams and oils. They saw that it was an uncluttered and clean space. The heart of the matter is that there were a lot of people, children that could have been within your same age group, or even older, like I said, age discriminatory people who saw your home, your wellness practice, and your education and your spouse, and it was not good, okay? It made them feel very vain. It made them feel like their fortune wasn't good. It made them feel like their accomplishments were mediocre. It also helped them realize that they knew from the jump that you were not of the same type and kind as them, because your home was so much different than theirs, okay? So they probably did a lot to mirror your home, but I don't think that you were expecting people are realizing that you were not expecting people to be envious of your home. You were not expecting this to be a problem, okay? And it became like your home became a very, very big problem to people. And it's weird because it's not their home, okay? Like, I'm hearing like people, this could even be people who watched your home evolve since you were in high school. So they were really concerned about like what you were doing after high school. Some people got pregnant. Some people did not continue their education. Some people went off to school, did not have enough funding, and dropped out for some other reason, got pregnant, got distracted, did not continue their education. Some of them, they did not have any other financial opportunities in life, and they saw you with a financial opportunity in life or educational opportunity, and they watched your home grow over time. Some of them, they literally watched you come from the same scarce, impoverished neighborhoods that they come from, but your home advanced so much faster than them. When you went away to school, when you started working, you kept your eye on the sparrow, and they were just people who were never opportune around their opportunities in life, and so their home was not the same as yours. So when you turned up, people were very envious of your home. Even before you met this new network, okay. There was a network from your childhood or your high school, local community, where you outgrew their chaos or you got a better home, and it showed that you were moving up social classes and that you were integrating or assimilating into the dominant culture. And I think that you're really, now that you got to the heart of the matter is that people were envious of your home, and that we keep making excuses or cutting corners about their violations. Some of them, there was a security breach in your home. These could have been people that was trying to rob your home, y'all. These people got out of control. They tried to rob your home. Maybe there was a security breach within the home. Maybe there's just major violations because these people became, they could not, something bad happened around your home, friend, okay? And people were just like, you were not expecting that, sweetie. And we know, because it was literally, you just felt like it was you didn't think that it was special. But I think that it was special, because if your only goal in life is to reach financial stability, and you outgrow the impoverishment and chaos of a previous situation, right? All the people that were not able to reach stability coming from these marginalized and impoverished groups, they became so unhinged about you advancing in your social class, okay? Okay, so you were not expecting this, you know, this party to be in your home, as well as what I'm hearing. I'm getting that there's a lot of people, you know, because your home was so envied, your home actually became a display for people to look at. Okay, like something where there was so much envy about your home, it actually became a highly rewarded and recognized home for the very same reason that they're envious of it. Okay, spooky. So yeah, you're just their teacher, lol. That's why your home was that's why they became, you know, they were out of control about your home, because your home taught them what to do. You're just their teacher, okay? LOL. Okay, so then we have, you know, but the heart of the matter is that, like, we might feel a sympathy for them for not having, you know, a nice home like you, right? And this is where they scapegoat and they make excuses for their violations, like, oh, they just were not as smart as you, and they were just not as privileged and as fortunate as you to have a nice home like yours, when it's literally just because they have an inappropriate attachment to money and power is the reason why they don't have a nice home. Okay, that's the reason why. A lot of you, it was not about the materialisms within the home, but the values that were exhibited from the home, and the way that you addressed your personal freedoms to reach stability. Okay, this was the big problem all along, is that you had a capacity. They hated you for being able. That's the heart of the matter, because they felt that they were too impoverished or disadvantaged and kept making so many different excuses as to why they didn't have good values and why they were not able to address their personal freedom. The heart of the matter is that you really just have to teach them about an inappropriate use of their sensuality and inappropriate attachment to money and power. They just saw you, they were envious because they saw you as not having those kinds of troubles, that you were not inappropriately using your sensuality, getting caught up with a destructive man in your home just for you, you know, just using your body for money, that you did not, that you had addressed your personal freedom, meaning that you were not looking for Chanel or celebrity status, that you were at the Goodwill looking for a discount flower vase so that you can bring some pleasure into your fucking home. The heart of the matter is that people hated the way that you addressed your personal freedom, and that you didn't need to live some ostentatious life, that you were pleased with your beauty, wellness practice, and artistic hobbies, that you didn't need, like, they were, the heart of the matter is that even people who look like they have a nice home, they still, they were their home is imbalanced because they have a partner that's not good to them. It's an inappropriate use of sensuality or an attachment to money. And so people are realizing something that you're doing, because you did not, like, after getting to the heart of the matter, you realize that all these people are in your house or around your house because they were jealous of your house. You made them feel mediocre. You made their house feel mediocre. You made them feel mediocre within their accomplishments. You made them feel like they were inappropriate. You made them feel, you called out, you know, other people who may have, like, other homes that we look to, but they ain't, and we look like, oh, that house looks like it's prosperous, right? It looks like abundance, but they were really manipulating or abusing students and teaching them the wrong things, that their house is really an inappropriate use of sensuality and attachment to money and power, okay? And this is the heart of the matter. This is the strong oppositional force, where there's a group and troop of people that became envious of your home, and that's the reason why they're at your home, is because they became obsessed with it, okay? We have transformation. What are people realizing about you? Yeah, they were like, they feel like you didn't ask for all these people to be in your home. that you were just, and that you were forced into the role as a teacher, and you've had to transform into this teaching position, because you've looking back in hindsight, getting to the heart of the matter, you're looking at it like you were not really addressing your personal freedom. Okay, you were not really capable, right? You were not really capable, and I just have to teach you a lot, and I didn't ask to be your teacher. I don't want you in my house. And they're saying that you did something, as an engineer. You're saying that they're saying that you're getting good at engineering, friend. LOL. Group 2, they're realizing that you're getting good at engineering, but you don't have any regard for the emotional consequences, because like I said, the emotional consequences are the heart of the matter. And we know that this is an envy about your home, and I think that you thought it was ridiculous and absurd, and felt very, like, I think that you just grew very, very uncomfortable after getting to the heart of the matter. While it may elicit sympathy and pity with others, I think that it made you extremely uncomfortable, because some of them left you without a home. Maybe there was a period where your home was violated, or a period where you didn't have a home, and people were sitting around with a woe about your home, and you were just like, what are you talking about? Like, something, if you were homeless, it was because people were envious of your home. Okay, somebody's, there was this theft. The heart of the matter is that they were so envious of your home, and they see that this has been a big problem for you, and that while you've been, teaching, and I think that you've been teaching about this situation and how they've had inappropriate attachments, is the reason why they don't have a nice home. And so I think that you have totally, they're realizing that you're totally devoid of emotion, because this left you without a home. This was true evil, okay? If they sat around and watched you without a home and expected you to teach people when you didn't have a home, it's like they see that you started to get very mechanistic about the solution to your house, and you stop taking into, there's no more heart of the matter. Fuck you, bitch. Bitches really expected you to sit around and teach them and leaving you without a home. You really got me fucked up. Like, are you dumb? These people literally sat up and expected you to teach them about their inappropriate attachment, and all in a get together at your house. Like, get the fuck out of my house, bitch. I'm not talking to you, you dirty asshole. They see that you started acting like, they see that you like, first of all, this made you a superstar, because your house is everywhere. But they see that you don't give a fuck about anything or anybody, because all these people that made your house a superstar, that made you a superstar, were actually people that were super fucking envious, right? Expecting you to teach them about their inappropriate attachments. Fuck you, you dirty ass bitch. Get the fuck out of my house now. Like, something where bitches is sitting around with the envy about the house and expecting you to teach them. I'm not teaching you shit. Like, get your dirty ass up and read a book, you dumb bitch. It ain't my fault that you don't have an education. It's not my fault that you don't have your car, that you don't know 1 + 1. It's, you don't know algebra, bitch. It ain't my fucking fault, you dumb hoe. Be grateful for what you have, bitch. Something where these motherfuckers saw you transform through this whole period, where you had to teach them about their own inappropriate attachments, so that so we can get to the heart of the matter, that it was an envy about not having a nice home. How the fuck is that somebody else's fault, you dumb bitch? They see that you do not care about what kind of emotional consequences are involved here. They see that you don't care about that, because why would you care about something that's a clear violation? Ain't no heart of the matter when you didn't security breached, done something destructive, sat up trying to rub elbows about being envious about my home. What? Nah, we good, you dumb bitch. Something where they see that you don't care about emotional consequences, and that you're just here for your solution, and you are getting your solution, okay? But this was a big mirror seeing these people like behave like this, okay? When you clear, like, it was like you did not expect this, okay? When them mirroring your home was an envy about your home. Ultimately, you're their teacher. They need you to teach them how to have a home. LOL. Get your broke ass out my face, you dumbass bitch. It ain't my fault you ain't learn. LOL. We have the Leo. We have some of y'all are a stripper, okay? And then we have the letter U, okay? So, yeah, is with this Leo energy, they saw your home reach stability, okay? And this, you being stable, y'all, this was really bad. This is real. The heart of the matter is that people were envious of your home because it reached stability, okay? Some of you guys, you did this while you were a stripper, so that means that a lot of you guys get to you're getting ready to retire from the stripping, from being a stripper, exotic dancer, some aesthetic-y thing, and they see that that you're well established, okay? The heart of the matter is that people hate your home, because you have this is right at home for you, friend, right at home. And something that they previously thought was not possible for you, like retirement or our home, you've actually reached stability doing what you love, okay? Doing what you like. You're well established. And they see that all these solutions that you found to get stable, or to all these solutions that you found to get stable, they were mechanistic. They see that you did not care about anybody's feelings in this matter, because nobody cared about your feelings when they left you without a home, did they? Group 2, did anybody care about your feelings when they left you without a home? Did anybody care about your feelings when they projected your home? They're sitting around expecting you to teach them, and they're so, I think that it's divine timing for them to actually, like, after all this teaching that you have done, for you to get to the heart of the matter. It's like as soon as you got to the heart of the matter is when you stop considering the emotional consequences. And so now the emotional consequences are very grave, is what I'm hearing, okay? So, let's wrap, friends. You know, what are people realizing about you? They're realizing that they had a certain kind of expectation for you to teach them, or they had an expectation because of your proud performance and your promotion and your role as the teacher, and how you've had a strong will. They've had some, you know, they've had some expectations of you, and you know, you're on center stage, but I don't think that you asked for this. I think that you were trying to live a regular working girl life, or you were trying to be you were just trying to get stable, and you became a superstar, okay? Because it was really, the heart of the matter is that a lot of people started seeing your home and how you reached stability, and it was like, I don't know if this is because of your marginal identity or something like that, but it was like something where your home became like this big display of art and culture. And you know, it's divine timing that you were this big display of art and culture, but now you're totally devoid. Like, now you don't care to share art and culture with them, and that it's just for your pleasure and not for you to teach them. And they feel like you've gotten mechanistic in a way, and that now that you've reached financial stability, they feel like they missed an opportunity to have a real relationship with you, because they spent so much time mirroring you and learning and projecting envy, that you were just like, you're not anywhere. If I have to do so much teaching, then you're like literally nothing like me, okay? You just became obsessed with my home. And so we're not happy with you in my house, or you know, you were not happy with you needing to come around and learn so much. I never asked to be y'all teacher, okay? So there's no emotional response that you're going to get. There's nothing but a mechanistic response. We don't care about your children. We don't care about your motherhood position. All we care about is how you breached my security within my home, how you've been stealing from my home, and how you've been destructive in this mirroring of my behavior because you're obsessed with me. Do you think I give a fuck about your dumb ass kids, you dumb bitch? All I care is about finding my solution. Functionally. Bitch. We done. Ain't no more regard for emotional consequences. Get your dirty, ugly ass up, out, and away from my house. Sitting up envious of somebody's house that reached financial stability. You were not expecting this, y'all. People are realizing that you were just like, everybody find you to be their spirit animal. You're everybody's art muse, and then you turn around and you're just like, but you had an expectation for me to teach you, and you were projecting envy about my home, and that made me uncomfortable. So while you might find me to be your muse, or you might find a lot of pleasure in me, the feeling is not mutual. I'm only here for my mechanistic solution that does not have any regard for emotional consequences, because we will persecute to the fullest extent of the law. We don't care about the heart of the matter. We don't give a fuck about your ugly ass kids. We don't give a fuck about how you reproduce with plastic surgery. We don't give a fuck. Fuck you and your kids. That's the heart of the matter. Six of Swords, the Sun, and then the King of Wands. You know, these people that you had to teach a lot, they feel like, you know, things are getting better and that this is a temporary depression, a temporary, you know, hardship where you are not emotional. And they feel like they just want to wait for the relationship to mature. But I think that you've already reached a point where there's no more emotion. I think that they think that things will get better. But I think that you just, because you've had to teach them, you know that it's not an intimate relationship. It's not a pleasurable relationship for you. You don't want to talk to them, okay? But they're like, oh, well, you're being so mechanistic with this solution, and you're not considering the consequences of your mean actions and behaviors, like something where they feel like you're the teacher, but you can be abusive and manipulating as well, because there was like, they see that this is the consequences of them leaving you without a home, and so it's over. Okay, the relationship lost all value because of a toxic expectation and projection onto your home, where they expected you to teach them without leaving and left you without the things that you need, or you thought that this was absurd. Okay, they're realizing that the relationship lost value, that we don't care about the emotional consequences. We don't care about the heart of the matter. All I care about is the salulu for your delulu, you dumb bitch. That's what I'm seeing, friends, about what people are realizing about you. They think that your relationship is going to mature, but the relationship already lost value, so there's no more regard for emotional consequences, okay? Because of a toxic expectation that they expected you to teach everybody, they expected you to provide for everybody, they expected you to teach people about their inappropriate attachment, and that was so totally absurd and unfair when in leaving you without the things that you needed. It was so weird and strange that you were expected to teach everybody about an envy that led to a security breach, a robbery, or some other negative, destructive thing, and they never consider the emotional consequences for you. So how could they ever expect that in return? That's the strange, wild, and unhinged behavior that got you canceled. Okay? You're canceled. You're done. Albatross. Oop. Not albatross. Okay? If you know, you know. So, albatross, making hard things look easy. Yeah, I think that, you know, a part of it, they have some expectations about your house. They saw that because it was stable, that it's like they saw your house and they thought your life was easy. Like Paintball Studio or somebody, like these other people in the movement practice, they thought that when they saw your home, they thought that your life was easy. But you're a siren, and you've been some of you guys are sirens, or you've been extremely disadvantaged and marginalized, and you worked your ass off for that home. So when it was taken from you, it was not good. And the fact, it's like they expect it because it looked easy, right? It was, you were expected to teach because you make it look easy. Is anybody building a great house easy? Something where they expected things to look easy. Because it looked easy, they expected you to teach, or they expected you to provide for people, okay? Because you had a strong wisdom and character, and you are a big authoritative presence, but you just were not expecting to take up so much space within these people's lives. You were not expecting to be the center of their drama, and for this to all be an envy about your home and taking you through a hardship. They did not have regard for the emotional consequences, and so you don't have regard for the emotional consequences. The relationship is over, okay? That's it. Some of you guys found your solution, but there were a lot of severe, heavy emotional consequences, burden, and loss, okay? Thank you so much, group 2. Let me know how this resonates, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hi, group 3. Welcome to your selection. So you chose the flower, okay? This reading has been crazy. This is a Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, or Sagittarius. There's something about this involves a Gemini and a Sagittarius. And let's see what's happening next, okay? They're realizing a relationship between two people, okay? This is a realization of a relationship between two people. We have child. Yeah, siren. Yeah, people. This is about age discrimination, and you guys are some of you guys, they're realizing that you're getting married, but there could be a challenge in your relationship because people are discriminating against you because of age. I'm also like, this is not just your romantic partner that is struggling with your age difference. This is literally, your marriage is a social economic consideration, and there are high stakes and a big financial commitment here. Some of you guys are owed your inheritance, and there's somebody here that keeps age discriminating against you, saying that you're too young to have this great fortune, or you're not ready to handle this great fortune, or they're saying that you're still naive and immature about something. They're saying that you don't have that you're too young to have this responsibility and wealth, and this is the reason why they have not evolved, is because they're still age discriminating, okay? And you're probably sitting here super perplexed and beguiled, okay? Because I'm really trying to understand that, a lot of people are saying that they're trying to discriminate on the basis of age, but these are the same people that rely on you for structural support. You're the rock that everybody builds upon. You're clearly their authority. So they keep trying to make it seem like you're not prepared to handle your wealth and fortune or something like that. But you're a child that's really in tune with your subconscious. So, that's why you're ready for marriage, friend, okay? LOL. So people are realizing that you're a young person getting ready for marriage. We have self-love. So if you were worried about a rejection from pile 1, I think that that's something from your past, okay? And that this is a loyal and tenacious relationship that you have now. But I think that this has been a bit of a trial, because there's been somebody really struggling with your age, okay? And I think you could be struggling with it too, but I think that, this people with these ageism issues, they really have self-loathing tendencies. And let's see, what are people realizing about your group 3? We have the Hermit, we have the Teacher. You guys can be here from pile 2, and we have the destroyer. Okay, yeah, they see that there's somebody here that like, because you are a child, and they see that you are a child that has whipped a partner for marriage. They're saying that this person may have been your teacher. They're realizing this person who's been your teacher, who has been a destructive power. They've been intoxicated with your dreams and potential, and they have been doing something negative, doing something to teach you negative traits, or doing something, if they've had a destructive skill, and have been abusing the students in some type of way. So yeah, I think that a lot of this was naivete, okay, with this teacher, because this teacher saw you as a siren too, and so you had to evolve beyond this this impression that this teacher made on you, and that you've needed to discern a shadow aspect of your teacher, okay? And discerning this shadow aspect means that they take an L, okay? Something where it means that they take an L, especially if they've been doing something, destructive, okay? So that's what I'm seeing, group 3, yeah, okay? Moving on. So some of you guys, this person could have asked you for marriage, but this relationship was there was disruption, okay? It was a disruption in this relationship, and it was by one of your teachers, okay? And so when the relationship got disrupted, they see that you moved on and went into solitude to focus on your personal creativity, okay? LOL, they see that you decided to pass on marriage, okay? Some of you guys, you decided to pass on marriage because you saw that this marriage was disrupted by someone who was intoxicated with trying to destroy you, and that made you uncomfortable, is what I'm hearing, okay? Something where you got uncomfortable and you no longer wanted to marry them. We have good luck, okay? I think that either whatever you decide, you are very lucky, and you are protected from evil. I don't think that you want it, okay? Because you saw it as a scarcity trauma, okay? If there was a teacher that became obsessed with you, and someone, it disrupted your marriage, I think that you totally got away from that, okay? So I'm hearing that this is like, people are realizing that you're moving on, okay? That you may, like, you were a siren, and somebody, they couldn't resist offering you marriage, but I think that something made you withdraw from the relationship, and when you withdrew, they saw it as you moving on, and I think that probably was you moving on. I think that there are no hard feelings, but I think that they were really disrupted by somebody negative, destructive, abusive, or intoxicated with trying to destroy you, and so you no longer felt comfortable after they got distracted or disrupted, okay? If your marriage, if they asked you for marriage and then got disrupted, I think that they made you feel unsafe and you didn't want it anymore, okay? Yeah, this teacher had people brainwashed, that's why, okay? And clearly you're the divine feminine, so there's a lot of people stalking you. So people are definitely realizing that you're getting stalked, and that you, especially when they got, when they got news about a marriage or something like that, people, they definitely started stalking you, because you're divine feminine, soft, still, calm, and compassionate. But some of you might have been, you could be divine feminine and still move on, okay? You don't have to marry this person because they made you uncomfortable. You have other options for marriage, is what I'm hearing, okay? But I think that, this teacher had people brainwashed because you were just a child, and I don't think that they were expecting you to have the authority or to be the spiritual system that serves or serves us or replace this teacher, because they have brainwashed people with the manipulation and abuse of the students. Okay, so LOL. I'm hearing that whoever, this person, if they were disrupted by a brainwashing, you were like, they were just looking at you as a siren too, because you were irresistible, and they could just be attracted to you because of some superficial reasons, which is a lot of times why the siren gets attracted to, is because of a superficial reason. And some of them, they were attracted to you because you have the privilege of an idolatry. Maybe you, as divine feminine, you have the archetypal mode. Okay, feminine, your goddess form is an archetypal mode, and this also makes people obsessed with you. Okay, a lot of people will become obsessed with you because of your archetypal mode. So some of you guys, people will ask you for marriage right away, or they're asked for commitment right away. They might ask you to move in right away, or they will they'll ask you to move in right away, or they'll love bomb you, or they'll try to impregnate you, move things along very quickly, because of your body and some type of archetypal mode that you have, or idolatry that you could be related to, a privilege, a superficial reason. But it is, I think that this literally, they were brainwashed, and it was never going to work or something like that. They asked you for marriage, but you had to free them from a brainwashing, and after you freed them from the brainwashing, you felt uncomfortable. So they just became one of your gang stalkers, is what I'm hearing. They just became one of the people that's just stalking you as you move on. Okay, some of you guys are moving on to marriage, but for others, you decline marriage and after getting some communication. Okay, we have the Six of Cups, we have the Lovers, and then we have the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, they definitely see that this was a missed opportunity. Okay, that this person, you have unconditional love with them, that you guys are soulmates, but you decided to move on anyway. Okay, and you know that you'll have good luck in other endeavors because they had a conventional issue. I don't think it was, I think that you love them, but they had a conventional issue, and that was weird. Like something where like it was something that disrupted this relationship, a brainwashing. They were getting disillusioned by a brainwashing, and you decided to move on because you felt like they missed opportunities. Okay, yeah, the Three of Swords. They're just a loser now. Okay, they just joined. They knew that you were divine feminine, and they had a conventional issue, or deliberately decided to betray the relationship. Some of them, this is a con artist about, so because they don't want to, this is a con artist. The teacher was a con artist, or this person that was attracted to you for marriage is a convention, because they don't want people to know about organ inferiority complexes. So they are con because they don't want you to. It's something where they might ask you for marriage, but they don't want you. They want you to lie about an organ inferiority complex with a person that became intoxicated with trying to destroy you because of your goddess form. Okay, people are realizing this. Neil Ash had an organ inferiority complex, and that's why he became obsessed here. And so the authorities don't want to reveal this because there are a lot of people with the same hardship in this dominant cultural group. And so they're just conventions, just losers, just little dicks that are delusional. Okay, let's get your bird card. Okay, they deliberately decided to disobey because either they were brainwashed by a teacher that was intoxicated with you, or this could have been your older man, an older person, with an inferiority complex, is giving organ inferiority complex. And so they were doing something delusional and attacking you, but it was because of your body type and how they felt inferior with their organ. Okay, Um, the Pelican. Okay. So yeah, that's what I'm saying about what people are realizing. They realize that you guys have unconditional love in a soulmate relationship, and that should mean marriage, but they feel like they keep missing opportunities because they're getting defensive or getting disillusioned by brainwashing, or they're struggling with a conservative, conventional issue with people who have inferiority complexes. And so, they know that this means that they should marry you, but some of them, they want you to lie about certain aspects of where you have to consider, their social economic considerations, and you guys just decided to move on because you're not interested in the delusional inferiority complex for money, or security. Okay. Yeah, I think that this was all about group harmony. I think that they definitely are, they're the lovers in the Six of Cups with you. But I think that these conventional losers in the group the emotions are not balanced. They have a dependability, especially if they have inferiority complexes. It's really hard to, I think there are a lot of people with small dicks out there, okay? And how it relates to desire and desirability. And some of them were attacking you. And organ inferiority could have been attacking you because of your desirability. I think that there is healing available, but I think that you're really being dependent on him in a situation. So I don't know if you can leave your marriage, but you could be struggling with group harmony because there are people in the group that are conventions that cannot work as a team because of their inferiority complex about your desirability. And so that means that they need to get let go. They need to stop being featured on the blog. That means that something where you can't lie about something. Or you might just trade them for another. That's what I'm hearing. Trade them for another and move on. Because if there's this delusion is impacting the group harmony is what I'm hearing, okay? Some type of delusion is impacting group harmony, and I think that they missed an opportunity. Some members of the group, I think that your marriage could be fine, but some of you guys, there was an opportunity for marriage, but you didn't like the group, or members of the group are, they're witnessing this marriage and they feel like they could have been a part of the group, but they were too brainwashed by a teacher that was intoxicated with trying to destroy you, and you became uncomfortable is what I'm hearing. LOL. That's what I'm seeing, friends. Let me know how this resonates about the realization, and I'll see you guys in the next one.